What is up, guys? So today we're talking about the popular subject of mage boosting, and to be even more specific, we're talking about some recent changes Blizzard has done on the TBC beta that is clearly meant to nerf the mage boosting meta for TBC Classic. And no, I'm not talking about the AoE cap of Blizzard or anything like that, but I will mention that as well for those of you who don't already know, but this will be changed already in the TBC pre-patch. AoE spells like Blizzard will now have a damage cap on them, significantly reducing the damage of those AoE spells when you pull a lot of mobs. However, spells that are area of effects on the ground, such as Paladin, Consecration, and Mage Flame Strike, are unaffected by the AoE cap. Okay, so with that out of the way, what are the recent changes that Blizzard made to combat mage boosting? Well, if you watched some mage streamers when the TBC beta came out, or even some of my videos around that time, you will know about the Slave Pen's mage farm, where a mage could pull a lot of mobs up to the first boss, then use some clever mob pathing to be able to juggle the mobs back and forth so you never took any damage, and you could easily see this becoming some type of mage boost later down the road. So what Blizzard has done is implement some type of invisible wall, making this way harder to actually do. However, it is still possible. So to demonstrate these invisible walls, I've logged onto my rogue where I can get here without pulling anything, and as you can see, you can no longer use the boxes to get yourself up on the ledge, as there is now an invisible wall stopping you when you're jumping. But there is a trick you can use by jumping on this other box, and even though the invisible wall is still there, by jumping on this box instead and then forcing yourself through that wall, you can get yourself behind the invisible wall. And to demonstrate how this would work if you do this as a mage, I've gone on my mage and started doing my regular Slave Pen's pull, where I pull all of the mobs, I slow them down, I look for the boss, and when the coast is clear, I move onto the box and jump onto the platform. From here you just have to walk onto your usual place, but based on my testing there's a limit to how far you can go until it throws you off the platform, or basically you just slip and fall off. Because of the invisible wall, you also have to relocate your Blizzard to a different area, because the previous Blizzard location is no longer within reach, so I usually use this platform to gather up the mobs, then jump down, and do some big pumper damage to finish them. So that was all just to show you that even though Blizzard have implemented some invisible walls, there are still currently a couple of ways to work around this. But the fact that Blizzard are putting in invisible walls for this method means they are quite obviously looking to disrupt the mage boosting meta for Classic TBC by fixing previous bugs within the game that allowed for weird mob pathing. And this mob pathing right here was actually in the game as well in the original TBC, so this is a #SomeChanges change happening to the game. The fact that they are doing this to Slave Pens means they will definitely keep a close eye to similar bugs throughout the Burning Crusade and Outland dungeons as well, but I also think we might see some invisible walls coming to Classic WoW dungeons to also stop mage boosting in, for example, Moradin and Sul'Girub, where you also do some weird jumps to reset mob pathing, and I think Blizzard might actually end up putting some invisible walls into there as well. And personally, I actually hope they do that as well. Based on what I'm reading on the forums though, some other people have also caught on to this change, and let's just say, some mages are not happy. Some people are calling it a meta enforcement, which is kind of actually a fair argument, because if mage AoE farming and boosting gets nerfed to the ground, all of the mages will just reroll Protection Paladins and AoE farm and boost on that instead. But even in that case, they won't be using any clever abuse of mob pathing, and that is the issue that Blizzard is trying to fix here. They are not saying the mage class is overpowered. All they're trying to do is putting in invisible walls to fix a mob pathing issue that certain classes, especially mages, are able to take a massive advantage of. I would also like to argue against the second point in this comment, because this guy on the forums is blowing smoke out of thin air, or whatever you want to call it. He's trying to cause a massive uproar about nothing, and the second argument is that #SomeChanges will eventually lead to Blizzard tuning classes for arena and raids, and this is not even a nerf to mages. Like, dude, seriously, it's not that deep. This is an invisible wall being put in place to stop people from abusing mob pathing. You can still be a mage if your only dream within the game is to be a mage, just find different ways to do it than abusing mob pathing. there's no changes to your Blizzard damage other than the AoE cap, which was already how it was during the official TBC as well back in the day. This is literally just Blizzard adding in invisible walls to stop people from breaking the game in ways it should not be broken. With that rant over though, I want to talk a little bit about what this could potentially mean, because if Blizzard intends on adding several of these invisible walls to previous Mage Boosts as well, such as Maraudon, Surgirub and Scarlet Monastery, that means there will be far less boosts available, which first of all I think would be good for the game itself if it wasn't for the paid level 58 boost. I do think it's a little bit convenient that Blizzard now suddenly starts fixing the mob pathing that led to Mage Boosting, now that they are selling level boost themselves. Like, obviously not having Mage Boost available is another incentive to pay for that boost instead, because leveling by yourself takes longer than getting boosted through dungeons, so it's probably a smart idea by Blizzard overall, especially when you think business, and I don't think it's a coincidence when it comes to the timing of this happening. Mage Boosting has become an insane meta for Classic WoW, and it's pretty much taken over the leveling scene, and I never see any actual groups for Scarlet Monastery, or Maraudon, or even Stockades, or the Dead Mines. It's always boost groups, so I think it's about time that Blizzard at least acknowledges this, and talks about it, and if they can do something to fix it without touching the class abilities of the mage itself, I think that is a fantastic change for the game. If you are a mage player and you put all of your eggs into the mage boosting basket for gold making, I can understand why this stings, but this is definitely not a mage specific nerf, nor is it a meta enforcement. They are simply fixing a pathing bug that existed back in the day, that wasn't as big of an issue back in the original version of the game as it is right now. They've already said some changes will be happening in TBC Classic, and even the community agree that some changes is good for the game, and personally, I think this is one of those changes that is good for the overall health and the economy of the game itself. But with that being said, I am quite excited to see if some mastermind mages are still able to find some sort of boosting strategies that don't involve clever jumps and abusing mob pathing, in case all of that gets fixed with invisible walls, because mages still have the toolkit to perform boosts, they just have to be a little bit more creative. Personally, I hope it at least solves mage boosting from 60 to 70, so there will be more people out questing in the open world in Outland, because that makes the game feel more alive while you're questing yourself, and personally, I prefer a game where I can see people in the open world rather than everyone being in instances 24/7. But yeah, that is pretty much it guys, that is the video. I really just wanted to get this information out to you, as it seems like Blizzard is trying to fix mob pathing for TBC Classic, which will make it more annoying to be a mage in dungeons, trying to farm or boost, and I think this information is important for you to know. So with that, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and if you did, remember to hit that like button for the YouTube algorithm, and subscribe to the channel for more TBC content. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you again very soon.